Man, they absolutely cooked him with those bars. Straight flames, no mercy at all. But let's be honest, this whole mess spins right back to Jim.
I didn't start it. They asked me how I felt about what was said about me on another platform from some other people. You know, that sounds like I'm not a troublemaker.
Dude always gotta prove something, like he needs to be the loudest voice in every room, every time. Whether he wilding out in interviews, flooding Instagram with flashy shots, or dropping bars like he's schooling somebody, Jim Jones been stuck in overdrive. And now, that pressure finally snapping back on him hard.
Jim Jones Styles P, let's talk about it. Versus started out as how much body of work you got, how many dope-ass singles you got, right? Then it grew. It progressed into having levels to this shit. It's sort of like boxing. You think you're going to mash somebody the f out until them lights come on, it's a different story. Styles P said, I'm a barsmith. It's levels to this shit. Meaning, look, I could go on my bag with singles.
For the past few years, Jim been grinding non-stop, trying to flip his whole image. One minute he's the Harlem rapper, then he's the street general, then the businessman, and now suddenly he's posing like a fashion icon. All that shape-shifting got people looking sideways. Folks asking if Jim really solid, or if he just performing for cameras and clout. That's exactly what Styles P and the crew been hinting at, loud and clear.
All you gotta do is pull up here. You know, you wanna join me? Pull up and join. You know what I'm saying? Pull right up here and you can join me. I'm on live.
Yeah, talk that shit. Yeah.
We're here, baby. Pull up.
Know what's up?
211, never here.
Know what's up, y'all?
You know what I mean? We're here, baby. J1 pulling up. He went home. You know, after the gym, he wanna go get flea.
They didn't even need to drop his name. Soon as that line hit, you don't buy street cred, you earn it, everybody knew who that smoke was for. That bar landed like a straight gut shot. No amount of icy canes, designer fits, or non-stop drops can put Jim on the same respect level that Kiss and Styles been holding for decades. That respect ain't for sale. It comes from real weight and real life, not likes and reposts.
Jim will be out of business after
Weatherman
August 3rd, so I'm practicing the weatherman. As you can see, I'm in Harlem, New York. What up, Harlem? I love y'all, you know, but I shit don't go that fast, okay? But anyway, I just want to say, after August 3rd, I'm going to be the new weatherman. If I ain't going to be it, Kiss is going to fill in, or we're going to have to do this shit together. But August 3rd, after August 3rd,
Truth is, Jim stay in hustle mode, always talking like he run New York, always stirring tension just to keep his name ringing. It's like peace make him uncomfortable. After LOX completely wiped Dipset during that versus moment, Jim should have just held that L quietly. But nah, he came back with slick talk, throwing shade, acting like none of it mattered. Please, nobody forgot when Jadakiss took over that stage by himself and shut the whole building down. That moment stamped the hierarchy for everyone watching. Now Styles and Kiss making it crystal clear with this latest jab. No filter, no mercy.
Jim Jones.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, he's been in a few fights.
Has he won any?
I believe so.
Oh, really?
They say
Which one?
They say he beat up.
His baby mama or something like that?
Nah, he beat up dude at the restaurant.
Who, the cook?
Let me see.
I don't even think he's from Harlem, tell you the truth.
You don't think he's from Harlem?
Nope. I think because they never talk about him being in Harlem. I think he's from North Bronx or some shit.
You know, he claims a blood gang out there.
Britney Spears claims a blood.
Jim out here stretching himself way too thin, trying to be the street boss, the rapper, the fashion guy, the businessman, all at once. And now it's starting to look like smoke and mirrors. Styles even said it plain in a recent interview. Jim's whole energy feels forced. That comment cut deep, because Jim's brand was built on Harlem authenticity, not staged rollouts and flashy distractions. When someone like Styles questions your whole vibe, that hits different. Back in the day, Jim had that block-certified stamp. He wasn't just rapping, he was really outside, moving with that Harlem grit. But somewhere along the way, that raw edge got traded for runway looks, fashion week flicks, and foreign car flexing. It started looking less like hustle and more like influencer behavior. And yeah, people noticed that switch immediately. Jadakiss and Styles P didn't step in over petty drama. This ain't clout chasing. This is real ones calling out what they see as fake energy. Their legacy comes from straight bars, classic records, and staying 10 toes down through every era. They never had to chase trends or forced relevance. So when they see Jim popping up in every viral space instead of locking in on heavyweight music, of course they speaking up. Jim always jumping on whatever wave hot at the moment, like relevance gotta be maintained at all costs. But LOX don't move like that. They the blueprint. No gimmicks, no costumes, just skill, loyalty, and respect. Meanwhile, Jim playing viral games instead of delivering undeniable heat. That's why the OG's giving him that side eye right now. The streets always remember who's really built like that and who just dressing the part.
So what really reignited the fire? Jim Jones walking into podcast rooms talking like he runs the entire New York rap scene, putting himself above certified legends like it's nothing. That didn't sit right with anybody. Folks instantly asking who handed him that crown, because New York wasn't feeling that talk at all. At first, Jadakiss didn't say a word, and that silence, loud as sirens. Then out of nowhere, boom, he slid in with a smooth clapback that sent the internet spiraling. Jim keep pushing that I'm elite talk like he already stamped himself top tier, but nah, it don't work like that. You can't crown yourself off your own hype. That title comes with classics, real grind, and love from the block, not just confidence and captions. And when Jada dropped that calm, numbers don't lie line, that was a cold, effortless mic drop. Everybody still remembers that Versus night clear as day, and Jim still can't shake that L. Then Styles P piled on and said it straight. If you gotta throw shade just to lift yourself up, that's weak energy. That hit hard. How you calling yourself royalty while trying to tear down the kings already sitting comfortably on the throne? That one line flipped the whole convo about respect and legacy upside down. Yeah, Jim got drip. Yeah, he know how to hustle. But Jada and Styles bring something you can't buy or fake: credibility. They never had to scream, I'm the king of New York every other week. The culture crowned them a long time ago, and that crown was earned, not forced. Meanwhile, Jim's still chasing likes and validation, one IG post at a time. Let's keep it real. This tension didn't pop up overnight. It's been simmering for years, way before that Versus fallout. Slick lines and freestyles, subtle shots on records, quiet jabs online. It was all there if you were paying attention. Back then, people brushed it off as regular rap politics. But now, the pot boiled over. Jadakiss and Styles been watching the whole time. On one IG Live, Styles flat out said some rappers perform more for Instagram than they ever did for their own block, and everybody knew exactly who that was aimed at. Jim's whole image starting to look like a walking billboard, loud, shiny, flashy, but missing that soul. Jada stayed cool as ever. He said it's simple. We don't compete with gimmicks, we compete with bars. That line alone carried more weight than 100 promo runs. While Jim busy snapping pics in luxury stores and chasing trends, LOX still dropping verses that hit deep and stick with you. The contrast is crazy. Fans picking sides, energy shifting, and the culture paying attention. Don't get it twisted. Jim got talent, no question. But when every move feels like promo, like part of a rollout, the music starts losing its edge, especially when you standing next to legends who let the bars speak for themselves. This ain't about who hot this week, it's about legacy. And right now, Jim's legacy looking unsteady, while LOX aging like fine wine, strong, sharp, and more respected by the day. What really makes this whole situation extra messy? Jim's still moving like it's all jokes and good vibes. Meanwhile, the way Jada and Styles P talking, dead serious, no laughs, no playful sparring. This is a straight call-out. There's a clear line between friendly back and forth and real smoke, and Jim crossed it the moment he kept throwing slick shots after that Versus loss. One of Jim's posts even tried spinning it like Jada and Styles were just mad because he was winning. Winning what though? Because Jada's sitting on platinum plaques, timeless bars, and real respect that still rings bells today. That's real wins. That's legacy talk. Styles P still got the hood behind him heavy. He dropping verses that still hit, running juice bars, spreading health game, giving wisdom, and snapping on tracks like time never touched him. That's real life motion, no filters needed. Meanwhile, Jim chasing clicks like it's a clout marathon. And trust, the locks peeped the play early. Fans peeped it too. Jim used to get love for keeping it gritty, but now even some Dipset loyalists saying he drifted too far into gimmick mode, like he lost sight of what built his name in the first place. Authenticity always been the real currency in hip-hop. Jada and Styles move quiet, but when they move, it's heavy. They don't bark non-stop, they bite when it matters. Every time Jim tries to downplay their legacy, it just makes his own look more unstable. That's why their words hit so hard. They not just throwing shade, they saying what a lot of people been thinking for a long time.
And here's why the streets refuse to let it slide. Jim keeps trying to remix that Versus L like Dipset didn't get washed. In interviews, he acting like it was all jokes or bad preparation. Be serious. Nobody buying that excuse. Jadakiss turned into a full-on monster that night, and the whole world watched it live. That moment wasn't just a show, it was a statement, a reminder of who really controls the mic, the moment, and the movement. Locks showed up locked in, focused, and starving. Dipset looked like they pulled up straight off a party bus, and Jim still trying to soften the damage like rewriting history gonna make folks forget. But Styles said it best. You can't remix what the crowd already lived. That energy in the building was legendary. Jim spinning the story now only makes it look worse. He acting like it was just one night, but nah, this about longevity. Jada and Styles still living in the booth. Their pen game sharp, no rust, no shortcuts. Meanwhile, Jim treating rap like a side quest while talking crypto and pushing fashion drops. But hip-hop got a long memory. When you take a major L and pretend it didn't happen, it don't just hurt streams, it drains respect. Even Jim's newer music ain't helping much. The visuals flashy, the money talk loud, but the bars feel empty. No weight, no depth, just quick hit hype built for the timeline. And that wild Jim versus Nas talk? Nobody took that serious. Nas is a certified icon with timeless lyricism. Jim not even in that lane. That comparison alone had people shaking their heads. And this is where it really turns uncomfortable for Jim, because now it ain't just Locks talking, it's the audience too. Fans, bloggers, even neutral heads all starting to say the same thing out loud. Jim's energy don't feel organic anymore. It feel calculated, like every move got a trend, got to spark debate, got to keep his name buzzing no matter how it lands. Back in the day, Jim didn't need all that. His presence spoke for itself. Dipset had a real movement, real style, real sound. Harlem felt it, the streets felt it. But somewhere down the line, the mission shifted. Instead of letting the music breathe, everything turned into moments, headlines, and hot takes. And when you move like that too long, people start questioning the motive. That's the part Jim missing. Respect don't come from forcing the convo. It comes from consistency, silence, and letting your work speak. Jada and Styles mastered that. They don't rush to explain themselves. They don't jump online every time someone says their name. They let time do the talking. And that patience, that's power. Jim, on the other hand, always seems ready to respond, always got something to say, another angle to flip, another narrative to push, and that desperation's showing. When you gotta constantly remind people who you are, it starts sounding like you trying to convince yourself too. That's why the OG's looking at him funny now. And let's not ignore this part. Every time Jim speaks, he somehow places himself above people who clearly put in more groundwork. That rubs the culture the wrong way. Hip-hop got an unwritten rule: honor who came before you and respect who earned it. When you skip that step, the backlash comes fast. That's why Locks didn't even raise their voices. They didn't need to. Their resumes already lied, their catalogs already stamped, their influence already permanent. So when Jim talk like he running things, it don't sound confident, it sound disconnected, like he reading a room that ain't on his side anymore. And fans picking up on that shift quick. You can see it in the comments, the reactions, the breakdowns. People saying Jim chasing relevance instead of building legacy. Saying his moves feel more like branding than passion. That hurts worse than any diss track. Because once the culture start questioning your sincerity, it's hard to win that back. Money can't fix it, fashion can't distract from it, viral moments fade, but credibility, that sticks or disappears. That's why this ain't just rap beef, this is an identity check. Jim's standing at a crossroads right now. Either he locks back in with the music and lets the work talk, or he keeps leaning into noise and watches the gap grow wider. And with Locke still standing tall, calm, and respected, the contrast only getting sharper. This ain't about who's loudest today, it's about who still matters tomorrow. And right now, that question hanging heavy over Jim's head. Man, let's keep it 100. Jim ain't even in the same galaxy as Nas. When you line up what Jim be saying next to what Nas gave the culture, it don't even match up. Hip-hop got levels, and folks acting like they forgot that. You don't play around with a legacy like Nas's. That resume is untouchable. It's not close, never was, and deep down, everybody knows it. Jim always talking respect and legacy, but Jadakiss, that man still dropping bars that shake the internet with zero rollout. No gimmicks, no extra noise, just pressure. What him and Styles bring is grown man rap endurance, straight bars, real presence, and music that age right. They built their names off skill, not buzz. Styles said it best when he broke it down like this: some build bridges, others build brands. That line said everything. Only one of those lasts long term. Jim deep in that brand hustle now, and that's cool if the music carry the same weight, but fans ain't blind. If the bars don't hit, all that polish just turns into styling with no substance. Instead of dropping heavyweight verses, Jim out here throwing shots in Instagram captions and flexing designer fits like it's a runway. That's influencer timing. Might work for social media, but in hip-hop, that don't earn stripes. This ain't even personal anymore. This a culture clash. Old school depth versus new school flash, and the difference loud as ever. Jim trying to wear every hat at once: rapper, influencer, businessman, fashion guy. But Jada and Styles don't need none of that. Hand them a mic and it's over. That's real power. No props, no costumes, just presence. And that's where the gap gets undeniable. The divide between authentic and aesthetic too loud to ignore now. Jim got talent, no question, but soul can't be faked, and fans catching on fast. The Locks not just winning moments, they preserving the standard. Real bars, real respect, real rap, period. If you rockin' with this breakdown, make sure you like the video, drop a comment with your thoughts, share it with your people, and don't forget to subscribe for more real talk like this. More heat on the way, so stay locked in. I'll catch you on the next one.